If you're scrolling for the reason, then we don't need you. It's XL, he can't be stopped. Riding dirty forever, the home of real hip hop. Ride dirty, tell me y'all can't harm. I still living fly in the sky with the stars. Ride dirty, ride dirty, ride dirty, ride dirty. Ride dirty, tell me y'all can't harm. I'm living fly in the sky with the stars. Ride dirty, ride dirty, ride dirty, ride dirty.
What up, world? It's your boy, Vic XL. This is the Riding Dirty Show, where we bridge the gap between hip-hop and everyday life, man. I always got to start off by saying one time for the good people over at WRFG, 89.3 FM Atlanta. Definitely one time for them allowing us 15 plus years ago to have a home to start the Riding Dirty platform, giving us the opportunity to talk to people who are definitely changing the culture. And so one time for the good people over at WRFG 89.3 FM in Atlanta. All right. I also got to start by saying one time for Live365.com. Now, you might ask yourself, what is Live365.com? Well, Live365.com is the internet's oldest streaming site, but they're more than just a streaming site. They are a hub for internet radio stations. What they do at Live365.com is they allow radio stations, be it internet or terrestrial, to launch their own station on their platform. They basically make you part of their server. They give you their own page, your own URL address, and people can listen to your music live. All right. So we've partnered up with Live365, and we've launched our very own internet radio station. And the name of our radio station is Ride 95. Now you might ask yourself, how can I access the station? Well, it's very, very easy. All you gotta do is go to Live365.com. And in the search engine, type in Ride 95. As soon as our logo pops up, click on our logo, and you can hear music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. All right? Now, if you want to listen via your mobile device, all you got to do is download the Live365 app, search Ride 95 in the search engine. Once the logo pops up, click on it, and there you have us. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. We got original programming and some of the best of what's next in hip-hop and R&B. So please, 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 please lock us in. All right? Today is Wednesday, August the 5th. I got a few birthdays I definitely got to let you guys know about. First, I got to say happy birthday to legendary New York DJ Funk Master Flex. Funk Master Flex turns 52 years old today. Also got to say happy birthday to one of the founding members of the Sugar Hill Gang, Big Bank Hank. Big Bank Hank turned 63 years old today. Also got to say happy birthday to frontman of the group Gym Class Heroes, but he's also the cousin of Tiger. West Coast MC Travis McCoy turns 39 years old today. And as well as I got to say, happy birthday to one of the founding members of the Beastie Boys, Mr. Adam Yauch. Adam turns 56 years old today. So, man, we got a lot of people who've been definitely part of hip-hop history, who's done some great things. Funk Flex, who broke bukus and bukus of records. My man, Big Bank Hank, part of the first ever hip-hop record to hit the airways, and Adam Yauch of the Beastie Boys, man. You know, they're definitely legendary, being trendsetters, being one of the first white rap groups to definitely break into mainstream. And equally as important, my man Travis McCoy, who has definitely contributed in a major way when it comes to West Coast hip-hop. He's definitely kind of fathered in what I like to call hybrid hip-hop, because he kind of blended hip-hop as well as rap. All right. Also, man, I'm checking over here on Facebook. Gotta say happy birthday to former dual contestant. Also, I had an opportunity to interview him a while back. My man, Heavy Metal Trap. He turns 27 years old today. Definitely happy birthday to Heavy Metal Trap. All right. You know, I always like to tell you guys, A great way to pay homage and show somebody that you support them or you definitely rock with them on their birthday is check out some of their work. So be sure to check out some Funk Flex work, whether it's radio or mixtape. Check out some old Sugar Hill Gang. Check out Travis McCoy, some Beastie Boys, and definitely let them know that you rocking with them. And let them know you heard it was their birthday on the Riding Dirty Show. All right. We switch gears a little bit. Little hip-hop news for you guys. Gotta say, my man Timbaland is definitely teasing a possible sequel with Justin Timberlake. Actually, you know, Justin Timberlake, his most popular and best-selling solo album was Future Sex Love Sounds. Well, Timbaland has took to IG and not really leaked music, but definitely teased the fact that he might be working with JT again on a follow-up to his most successful album. All right? Okay. Now, it seems like Twitter has permanently suspended my man Talib Kweli for a lot of rule violations. Now, you know, Talib Kweli has never been one to bite his tongue. He's definitely one of the most outspoken rappers, one of the most outspoken podcasters out there. Well, it seems like Twitter is no longer having the things he talk about, which I've never found anything he talks about to be offensive, but Twitter has permanently canceled Talib Kweli. Talib Kweli, unless he comes back under an alias, will not be on Twitter anytime soon. All right, guys, say salute to my man G Herbo. He's teamed up with Audio Mac to launch a program called Swerving Through Stress. All right, it's actually a program to help people recognize mental health issues and to help them when it comes to coping with mental health issues. And last but not least, gotta say salute to Rock Nation. They're establishing a school of music, sports, and entertainment at Long Island University. So salute to Jay-Z for always pushing the culture forward. All right? I just gave you guys celebrity news. I also told you about celebrity birthdays. And I let you know about our brand new radio station, Ride 95. Now it's time for me to do what I enjoy doing most, and that's moving out the way and giving the platform to those who are definitely changing the culture. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Riding Dirty platform. Queen's own Senor G. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, what's going on? Good evening, brother. I'm just grateful my eyes opened up this morning. Any day above dirt never earns a good one.
Man, my grandfather used to always say, any day on this side of the dirt is an awesome day.
Yeah, it is. The test of our perseverance. You've been chosen. It's an energy that wakes you up, not your alarm clocks.
You're right. All right, so look, I said you're from Queens, but you know what? Let's be a little more detailed. Let the people know what Senor G is from and what was your introduction to the music business.
Well, Senior G is from South Jamaica, Queens, New York Boulevard and 134, Rochdale Village, pretty much the same hood as 50, Lost Boys. You know, they just was in the houses across the street, and I was in the apartments, same block. And how I got into music was pretty much at a very young age, 9, the movie Big. I mimicked the theme from it, or what I thought was the theme from it, and just kept trying to play it until I got it right. I don't know how to read notes. I just play by ear. And after that, started to get lyrically inclined after an embarrassment moment in the 4th grade with my teacher, Phil, if you're still alive. Thanks for that. Then moving forward after that, met up with my cousin, Mikey D, from Main Source after Large Professor left the group in the early 90s. He mentored me and then showed me how to formulate records to give them structure. And then moving forward after that, some short years later, still being a teenager at the time, God was another mentor production-wise was my Uncle Rob Swinger from the group Trackmasters. They produced Ain't No Half Steppin', Ill Street Blues when it was 5 members. It's unfortunate that the younger generation or the millennials, if they know anything about the Trackmasters, they only pretty much Tone and Pope when Puffy and not before that. So there's a lot of history attached to me. So I feel very blessed that on this day I'm here, with the people that are celebrating their rotations around the sun that have also been pioneers of this industry, that hip hop. And the music that I'm making is new age hip hop, because it can't go back to what it was at one point. I just use that as a guideline, as a reference, and then be myself creatively.
All right, now I have to ask this. Number one, what's it like growing up under the wing of a legendary MC like Mikey D? Number two, you mentioned the Trackmasters and Rob Swinger. Wasn't Rob Swinger originally part of Chubb Rock's camp?
Yeah, that's his brother. That's my uncle too, Uncle Chubbs. And he down there. Shout out Uncle Chubbs if you're listening.
Yeah, Chubbs is definitely here in the ATL. Definitely in the ATL.
Yeah. No, that's my family too. Since you brought him up, but I was always the individual to try and express things on my own merit instead of using other people's achievements as stepping stones to get into the door. But no, that's my family.
All right. What's it like, man, having that type of family lineage when it comes to hip hop and coming from such a cultural place like Queens?
Oh man, it's a blessing, to be honest. It's a blessing. I just wish I could communicate with them a little more. But life is. But it's a spiritual relationship, so it's like when I do catch up with them finally, it's like nothing ever happened. We just keep moving forward. But music, it gave me a good foundation, because I came at the tail end of what hip hop was, or at least in my mind, what I thought it was at a time before rap kind of took over and kind of like consumed and tricked the people, so to speak.
All right, now I have to ask, coming from what I consider damn near the golden age of hip hop, what do you think some of the morals and values that you guys had about the culture that are non-existent in today's hip hop culture?
Oh, well, from back then, from the morals, it was just simple. Life 101, learn, teach one, show respect, get respect. And if it's really a problem, then, if your crew is there and other person's crew is there, you either dance out, they bust out some cardboard boxes and somebody went to go get a fresh 8D, some 8D batteries just in case, or they shot the fair one. If it was really some type of, trouble. Nowadays, it just seems like people are complacent in this comfortability bubble where they can be disrespectful behind the keyboard or their screen on their mobile device and not get punched in their face for it.
Okay. Now,
it's like there's no repercussions for it. It's just everybody it's just real reckless, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like in today's era, people don't expect or plan on ever meeting anyone. So they get behind the keyboard and they say what they want to say. And, the one thing I've actually noted about today's era is people get behind the keyboard and talk about things that aren't true and never, ever come back and say, I was wrong or I apologize, that wasn't true. They'll just say things and then, tomorrow's a new day.
Well, that's a dude. Well, I'm not trying to be rude and cut you off. I'm not going to say completely bad, because there's a great percentage of those individuals that you're making mention of that don't have 51% creative control of their situation. So they have to do whatever it is that they're trying to do ultimately in order to maintain the lifestyle it is that they're trying to, the image that they're trying to portray, and the act. Unfortunately, that's what it is too for a lot of people. It's they morally shortchange and sell themselves short, or a portion of their souls for that matter, and that's the end result of it. That's a byproduct of it, rather, because we really haven't reached the ultimate end result of it because it's still going on. So these are byproducts of it.
Okay. Now, you mentioned new age hip hop, new era hip hop. Tell me a little bit about the definition of that. Tell me about the definition and the sound of it.
I mean, well, the definition of it basically music, new age hip hop, like, yo, when you hear it, it's like, that can't be that, or he ain't do this, nah. Yes, we did do that. And as far as the mixing process is concerned, there's science involved to it outside of, normal, regular engineering and mastering processes, in respect to all the great engineers out there. And on a side note, I think it's very messed up that no artist has really thanked their engineers for any awards that they've received. It was engineers, if the record would have done what it does. I hear A&Rs, I hear everyone else but the engineers. So, the engineers.
All right.
But back to answering your question. I'm sorry, I'm just saying it's something that just needs to be said. I just haven't heard anyone acknowledge them. But within New Age hip hop, the science, there's numerology that's involved. We use half numbers. We actually try to embody the record, connecting with it vibration-wise.
Okay. How do you feel about the state of East Coast hip hop in 2020? Because it seems like, a lot of the hits are coming out of the South, a lot of the radio players coming out of the South. Like, how do you feel about the state of East Coast hip hop today?
Well, not just East Coast hip hop, because I listen to all kinds of music. I don't necessarily pay attention to names. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I just rather just be honest with you guys. But I do listen to different artists and different genres of music. The East Coast, what's going on now? New York's looking bad because of that young man. What's his name? Takashi. His name, him. He's whatever that's called on the TV. Him. So there's things going around about that, and it just seems like it's more like a soap opera. Really, it's like they're turning everything into some type of mockery. That's what I think. That's what I think. East Coast hip hop, not individually, but overall, what's being mainly shown there and pushed to the forefront. I think that's what I think it is. I think it's a mockery of hip hop, and then they classify it as rap / hip hop. That in itself, I felt was a slap in the face. So that's another part of reason why New Age hip hop was created. And my motivation behind the creation of that was Little John and the East Side Boys. I feel he was one of the pioneers that said, hey, well, look, the music that he makes, they called it crunk music. It wasn't hip hop. It wasn't rap. It wasn't anything else other than crunk music. At one point when they were still buying CDs and records in the store, when you had hard copies of stuff, they had their own section in the store, crunk music. So I said, if he could do it, I can do it. No doubt. All I got to do is apply myself.
All right, what do you like most? Being behind the mic as an MC or being behind the boards as a producer / engineer?
To be honest, I don't particularly have a favorite, because I'm a Capricorn, and we're sudden change. So it sometimes it's kind of hard to get attached to something, even though you could be extremely great at it, and you can enjoy things separately and still like it all individually a lot, because it does take a certain type of personality to be unbiased to yourself and still be able to produce a product that, to professionals and to consumers, at first glance, you would think that a whole bunch of other people were involved when really it wasn't.
Okay. All right. Now, how would you describe yourself as an artist? Or what do you want the fans to take from hearing the music of Senior G?
Well, each record will be different, I promise you. Because like I said, it's sudden change. I think music is an art form, and art, there really should be no rules to it. It's a feeling, an expression. And I believe in freedom of speech. That's the title of the projects, and all projects coming forward is the First Amendment, freedom of speech. I just want to be able to express my opinion without necessarily being prejudged immediately. All I'm asking in return is for individuals to respect my opinions the same way they would expect me to respect their rebuttals.
Definitely, no doubt.
That's all.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, you mentioned Lil Jon and the crunk sound. And Lil Jon being a producer / engineer as well as artist. How much do you compare yourself when it comes to being a trailblazer and trying to cultivate a new sound to Lil Jon?
Wow, that's a real tough question for me. But in all honesty, I'm not going to say. I think it's an honor that you would even ask that, to be compared to that man. He's very, very talented. I just think, again, I just used him as a guideline, as my motivation, not necessarily to. I have studied him. I'm not going to say that, because I didn't. I just took it for what it was and say, well, hey, he did it. I paid attention to some of the movements that he made, as far as how he did records and how he did ad-libs on records. And I said, oh, okay. I kind of have a similar personality, so I've used that in some of my records. But I still believe that I'm just my own individual. I think we all get influences from different people, and as new age hip hop grows, it's not just records that Senior G is doing. Other artists are going to be creating new age hip hop, I'm sure, very soon. New age hip hop is completely vulgar free music. That's the goal here, where we have our vocabularies, where we don't need to use bridge words. We can still get our points across, and it can be played anytime, anywhere, any show, any records, radio station. We don't have to worry about clearance or radio edit. No. And any child, any adult, any citizen, we can all listen to it as generations. That's the goal with New Age Hip Hop, to bring generations together.
All right. Now, piggybacking off the word New Age, we live in an era where everything is on the World Wide Web. Everything is about social media. How have you, being in the game so long, how have you adapted and made the World Wide Web and social media work for you when it comes to marketing and promoting your music?
Well, to be honest with you, it's a very new learning process for me. So if there's anyone out there that would like to intern for GSP Mix and help the movement and be a part of its history, it would be greatly appreciated, because no one that has done anything great in this life has done it alone. They've all had help from someone or something. So that's that. I really don't know. I try to do research. and I look at the commercials or ads that come on in the timeline, and there's some people, a company I believe from down near the Viral Chris TD, I believe he's down in Georgia. I've done some business with that individual or that individual's entity, you know, and tried to use Instagram and Facebook and for different things. Now that I know that there's classes for it, I'm going to be looking into that. And I suggest anyone else that's trying to start something that they look into it as well. You know, there's nothing new with admitting that you don't know. Nothing wrong with that. And just, you know, either humbling yourself and asking for help or just trying to do the research on your own. You got to show some initiative.
Okay. All right. With all that being said, tell the people how they can find you when it comes to the World Wide Web and social media.
Okay, well, as far as Instagram, it's GSPSENIOR2 at Instagram.com. That's the same at Facebook.com. And by going to either one of those, the link is there on Instagram for an article that Buzz Music did. And on the Facebook is all the rest of the information as far as the links right there in the left-hand side of the corner for Spotify and everything else.
All right. One last question. Well, actually, I got two, but this one. In a short version,
okay,
explain to the people, because when I was reading your bio, you said these two powerful words, real MC. Explain to the young generation what a real MC is.
Okay, well, as short as possible, a real MC is a master of ceremony. You can basically do whatever, whenever. It doesn't matter what type of situation that they're in, and they can make it happen for anybody, any time, any place, in short. What's going on now is a lot of rapping. Not saying that it's totally bad, but there's really no structure to it. A lot of times it just seems completely thrown together. No real effort. There's a lot of auto-tune, pitch correction involved. And it just seems like there's no soul, there's no mind, it's just a body is there in rap music. What's being portrayed as hip-hop today, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about this record we're about to drop.
90 seconds.
The name of the joint is My Way? New?
Same Way.
Same Way.
Yeah, Same Way. A Voicemail to Moms featuring Adele's voice. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about who produced it and what's the concept.
Okay, in short, my big brother down there, Bishop, who's been down there.
60 seconds.
He's out there, shout out to him, from Black Architect Music Group. He produced the track. It was a project originally or an album that he was working on, but unfortunately, his mom, my aunt, she succumbed to an illness, so we weren't able to do the record at that time. And then over the time of us both trying to heal, because I lost my mother as well some years ago, and this record is pretty much us expressing to them, still working together because our mothers knew each other, and they both were Adele supporters as well, and that we're just living testaments of the warriors that they raised us to be, and that we're going forward, and we're carrying ourselves out in the same way as respectful men.
All right, do me a favor, Senior G, introduce this record to the